We all bear the image of the Lord, image bearers. While the angels or messengers have names like God or strength of God or wise like God, the difference is mysterious. Beings who were like God descended from the heavens and caused man to worship them, giving their daughters to them for forbidden knowledge. The offspring of this became the heroes of old, like Hercules, or Enlil and Enki, demigods basically. After the flood, it is said Satan took them in a flaming chariot to protect some of them he deemed worthy. But that's a story for another time. During the time of Jesus, they say 90% of his time was spent casting out demons. These demons were the leftover souls of the heroes of old that didn't leave. Being disembodied, unclean spirits that were neither angels nor humans, there was no place for them in heaven nor hell. These demons filled with hate and wrath are what I believe make up a majority of paranormal and extraterrestrial accounts. And he said we also have the power to cast out demons. When Jesus died, what did he leave as a weapon to cast out the demons? The gospel. As the gospel spread, it purged the demons of Western society, making America a land that had been exorcised of all the old demons, a land that had a true opportunity to become the land of God's people. But Jesus warned that if America were ever to turn away from the Lord, then the Spirit of God would leave it. Matthew chapter 12, verse 43. When an impure spirit comes out of a person, it goes through arid places seeking rest and does not find it. Then it says, I will return to the house I left. When it arrives, it finds the house unoccupied, swept clean and put in order. Then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the final condition of that person is worse than the first. That is how it will be with this wicked generation. Remember the part about the demon leaving its house and searching for another? I know most people, when they think possession, they think a little girl or a single serial killer. But what if possession could overtake groups of people? What if families, clans, even countries could be possessed without even knowing it? It also said, the final condition of that person will be worse than the first. What if you lived in a country founded on the principles of God, and it turned away? It forgot about God and began to listen to other gods, choosing themselves, narcissists, loving their looks, worldly pleasures, lies over the truth. The demons that had left that country would return even worse than before. But what demons may return, you might ask? Basically, there were 3 demons that seemed to plague ancient Israel since antiquity and into modern times, and are actively manifesting into our culture and reality. The Bible talks about the true God executing judgment against the gods. Who are these gods? I believe they are ancient principalities and powers that have been narrating events, religions, and cultures on a global scale, a spiritual war. All over the world, every culture on the world began worshiping gods. But why? The gospel has the answer. In Deuteronomy, it says they worshipped and sacrificed to the gods. But the words that they used was shittim. The word shittim means entity. Metaphysical spiritual beings. Translated into Greek, the word becomes daimonia, the precursor to the word demons. In the modern era, these demons would return to a people who were wiser, had better ways to communicate and sciences, and most of all had knowledge of God. The first and main objective would be to turn the culture that had once known God away from God, and as we know, it will become in even a worse condition than if it never knew God. There were 3 demons that plagued ancient Israel and caused them to forget God. The first demon being the possessor, the second is called the enchantress, and the third is called the destroyer, the first being Baal. Baal's duty was to possess the people, to make them turn away from God. He would do this by making them believe he was their God and that he would make them prosperous. Modern society continues to become more secular. At one point in time, religion was a part of schools and an everyday part of every community, but today we see more and more laws being passed separating religion from everyday life. This is a sign of Baal. He would often appear as a beautiful, muscular, bearded man with lightning and thunder riding upon a cloud. Baal was associated with Zeus or Thor. There were many African, Hindu, and Asian deities depicted the same way. The next is the enchantress. In Canaanite mythology, she is the wife of Baal. Ashura, many cultures are known to make poles or Ashura poles in homage to her. In Greek, they can be seen as Zeus and Aphrodite. She also went by Ishtar or Venus. She was known as the Great Harlot. She was the god of sexual immorality and divorce. She also was the god of bars and depicted with wine in her hand or riding upon lions. She was also known for stealing from other gods. Her followers were known to be men who got surgery to limit their testosterone and dressed androgynously. The last is the destroyer or Moloch. If we continue to follow these entities and paganize our culture, we will inevitably meet the destroyer whom ancient people across many cultures can be seen sacrificing to. But this all must and will come to pass before humanity can be redeemed to its true status as kings and followers of the true Lord God and rulers of the earth.